Just as there were three basic ways to get an inconsistent system in three variables, there are two basic ways to get a dependent system in three variables. And the first one is simply to have two or more of our planes be actually the same plane. So here we see that we have the same equation appearing twice. In this diagram, it looks like we only have two planes because two of our equations both correspond to that plane. In this system, we see that all three equations look exactly the same. Now, of course, in real life, we're not going to see systems actually looking like this. We'll actually encounter them with the systems not in standard form, either multiplied through by something, or one of the equations is solved for one of the variables. We won't see a system where we have all three identically the same equation, but as we manipulate them to prepare to solve, we'll get to a point where we have identically the same equation. So in this case, two or all three planes are the same plane. And if we get them into standard form, we see that two or all three equations are the same equation. They'll typically look different when we encounter them in the wild, but in the end they end up being the same. The more interesting situation is one in which all three planes are different, but they all intersect at a single line. Think of the pages of a book. You have a whole bunch of planes that all intersect at a single point in the spine of the book. In theory, pages actually have thickness, so it's not quite like that. But that's the idea. So maybe all three planes meet at a single line. What do we do with something like this? When we see the system of equations, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong. So again, we're going to try to solve. And when we try to solve it, we'll end up getting a system of two equations that are actually the same equation. We'll see that in the next video, along with what we actually do in this case, because we have some solutions to this system. In the inconsistent cases, we said, there's no solution, and we walked away. In this case, we have some solutions, and we want to describe them. So when we have a case like this, we will describe the line to say what the infinitely many solutions we have actually are.